The Iraqi Dinar Revaluation, RV, has long been a subject of speculation, hope, and skepticism. But as of today, many within the dinar investment community believe we are standing at the threshold of a financial transformation unlike anything Iraq has seen in decades. With growing confidence from respected figures such as Frank26, the latest indicators suggest that the long-awaited RV may no longer be a distant possibility, but an active process already unfolding behind closed doors. According to recent briefings, Iraq's central bank has completed critical infrastructure upgrades, aligning its banking systems with international financial protocols and SWIFT standards, a move seen as essential for any meaningful currency reform. This is further bolstered by reports of coordinated efforts with global institutions and compliance with IMF benchmarks, which have long been prerequisites for Iraq's return to full economic sovereignty and a globally recognized exchange rate. On the ground, Iraqi media and official statements have begun to subtly shift their language, focusing more on economic empowerment, foreign investment strategies, and digital financial integration. Another sign that the groundwork is in place. Currency traders, banking insiders, and regional analysts are quietly pointing to synchronized policy changes, shifts in government messaging, and tightened money supply measures as indirect evidence of a move toward a stronger, internationally viable dinar. Perhaps most compelling is the growing consensus that Iraq's political leadership is now unified on monetary reform as a pillar of national revival, rather than a risky gamble. While the exact timing remains closely guarded, there is a clear narrative emerging. The conditions that have historically delayed the RV, such as instability, sanctions, and institutional disarray, are rapidly dissolving. In their place, we are seeing a concerted push toward transparency, regional diplomacy, and economic modernization. For dinar holders, this is not the time for fear or second-guessing. It is the time for measured readiness. Whether the final announcement comes within hours, days, or weeks, all signs suggest we are in the final stretch of a process that has taken years to materialize. As the central bank positions itself to reintroduce the Iraqi dinar on the global stage, and foreign exchange platforms watch closely, those who have followed the journey with patience and discernment may soon witness the payoff of a once unlikely vision. As always, stay tuned to Iraqi Dinar RV for the most accurate and timely updates, because if the signals are true, history is not just approaching, it's knocking on the door. The Iraqi Dinar Revaluation, RV, once spoken of as a future possibility clouded by uncertainty and geopolitical complications, now appears to be entering its most decisive and concrete phase yet. According to a bombshell announcement from Frank26, a leading voice in the dinar community known for his long-standing insights and deep connections, the speculative chatter is officially over. In his most recent broadcast, Frank departed from his traditionally cautious optimism and instead delivered a direct, urgent message. The RV is no longer something Iraq is planning for, it is something Iraq is actively executing. In his words, "We are in the activation phase. This isn't practice. This is the real thing." This statement has sent a shockwave across the global dinar holder community, signaling that the long-awaited revaluation may be not just imminent, but already unfolding quietly behind the scenes. Frank reported that Iraq's central bank has finalized all necessary reforms and infrastructure upgrades, bringing their systems in line with international financial protocols and removing the last of the roadblocks that have delayed this transformation for years. What makes this moment especially significant is that key international financial organizations, including, as hinted, the IMF and World Bank, have reportedly given their green light. This marks a turning point. It means the Central Bank of Iraq is not only legally empowered to move forward, but is now technically and operationally positioned to do so without further delay. The implications of this are massive. Iraq's compliance with international transparency standards, its increased foreign currency reserves, and its quiet but consistent economic stabilization efforts have all laid the foundation for a successful and credible RV. Furthermore, Frank emphasized that the transition is not something that will be announced out of the blue without signs. Instead, it is unfolding in stages, with signs all around us for those who know where to look. From tightened monetary policy to changes in how the dinar is being handled within Iraq's banking system, and from sudden shifts in international trading behavior to subtle diplomatic signals, it's clear that the mechanisms of revaluation are now in motion. What was once theory has become active implementation. For investors, currency watchers, and Iraqi citizens alike, this announcement is more than just a morale booster. It's a historic call to attention. Frank26's tone, more serious and confident than ever, reflects a turning of the page in the dinar saga. If these claims continue to be confirmed by additional independent sources, and if the central bank follows through with public confirmation in the coming days or weeks, we may be witnessing one of the most significant monetary policy shifts of the 21st century. As always, discernment and patience are key, but the message is clear. The wait may finally be over, and the activation of Iraq's economic rebirth is no longer theoretical. It's happening right now. Over the past several months, a quiet but powerful transformation has been unfolding within Iraq's financial sector. One that signals not just readiness for revaluation, but active alignment with global monetary standards. While public attention has often focused on political developments or statements from high-profile figures, the real story has been happening behind the scenes. Iraq's banking system has undergone a comprehensive modernization that now fully integrates it with international financial infrastructure. This technical evolution isn't cosmetic, it's foundational. Among the most critical advancements is Iraq's full integration with the SWIFT network, the global standard for secure, real-time financial messaging. This means that Iraqi banks can now engage in direct, instantaneous settlements with institutions worldwide, an essential capability for any nation looking to participate meaningfully in global currency exchange. Further strengthening Iraq's position is the recent adoption of digital payment protocols and blockchain-compatible frameworks. These technologies drastically improve the transparency, speed, and security of financial transactions within the country, making Iraq's banking environment not only more efficient, but also far more attractive to foreign investors and institutions. More importantly, Iraq's banking software now supports live forex trading functions, a technical necessity for any country preparing to float or revalue its currency. Previously, these kinds of transactions were either heavily restricted or manually processed. Now, they are integrated into the everyday operations of Iraq's major financial hubs, including Baghdad, Basra, Erbil, and Mosul. According to multiple insider sources, these upgrades are already live, and training for institutional staff has been underway for months. This infrastructure overhaul is not just symbolic modernization. It is the scaffolding upon which a revalued, internationally tradable dinar will stand. Parallel to these technical advancements has come what many consider the final piece of the puzzle: full approval from the International Monetary Fund, IMF, and the World Bank. Historically, lack of international oversight or endorsement was one of the primary roadblocks to the Iraqi Dinar RV. A currency can't just revalue itself and expect recognition without external validation from these governing bodies. But now, according to Frank26, and confirmed by other trusted sources in the community, these approvals have been quietly but decisively issued. While specific documentation may remain under wraps due to diplomatic confidentiality, the message is unmistakable. Iraq has been granted the go-ahead. This changes everything, with the IMF and World Bank signaling that Iraq is in compliance with all necessary monetary reform guidelines. The Central Bank of Iraq, CBI, now has both the authority and the legal autonomy to implement the RV on its own terms, immediately if it chooses. No further permissions are needed, no more red tape. Iraq is now not just capable but empowered. This convergence of technological readiness and international authorization represents a historic green light. All core systems are operational, all institutional boxes checked. For years, the RV has been a matter of if and when. But today, it is becoming a matter of how soon. And from all credible indications, that answer could very well be any moment now. Though no official rate change has yet been declared, a growing number of silent signals within Iraq's financial system strongly suggest that the Iraqi dinar revaluation is no longer a distant objective, but an active and unfolding operation. These indicators, visible only to those closely monitoring internal banking mechanisms and forex platforms, paint a picture of a nation in the final stages of economic transformation. First, reports have surfaced that local bank branches across Iraq are conducting what's being referred to as street rate testing. These are controlled evaluations where internal rate displays, visible only to banking personnel, show alternative exchange values for the dinar, values that deviate significantly from the public official rate of roughly 1320 IQD per USD. While these rates are not available to customers, their very presence suggests that the Central Bank of Iraq, CBI, is running dry-run scenarios, a critical part of a phased and strategic rollout. Second, forex platforms used by institutional investors and high-net-worth traders are beginning to display temporary or placeholder values for the IQD. This phenomenon typically precedes a live rate change, as these platforms must test functionality and ensure system stability before the public is allowed to access the new exchange rates. Placeholder values on such platforms are never arbitrary. They are inserted intentionally as part of a coordinated technical preparation. Third, internal communication within Iraq's banking infrastructure has reportedly changed dramatically. New protocols are being issued to bank employees regarding currency handling, exchange procedures, and the opening or conversion of foreign-denominated accounts. These are not your average internal memos or quarterly updates. They reflect systemic operational shifts and suggest that financial institutions are preparing to operate under an entirely different valuation of their national currency. Taken together, these developments offer compelling evidence that the RV is not only real but in motion, and possibly closer than ever to public execution. But why is all of this happening now? The answer lies in a convergence of strategic timing, geopolitical opportunity, and economic readiness. Iraq today is enjoying a period of relative political calm, with a reform-driven government committed to rebuilding the country's economy and restoring global confidence. For the first time in decades, political will and financial readiness appear to be aligned. Iraq's substantial oil revenues have bolstered its foreign reserves, providing the central bank with the liquidity buffer necessary to support a stronger dinar. This financial confidence is crucial. Without it, any rate adjustment would be risky and unsustainable. Meanwhile, Iraq's move toward de-dollarization has become more aggressive. By reducing dependency on the US dollar for domestic transactions, Iraq aims to assert greater control over its monetary policy. A more valuable dinar is key to achieving that goal. Finally, the global financial environment is evolving rapidly. As nations explore digital currencies and decentralized systems, Iraq faces pressure to modernize or be left behind. A revalued, stable, and internationally tradable dinar isn't just desirable. It's necessary for Iraq's full economic integration and future competitiveness. In short, the time is now because all the pieces are finally in place. The silent signals are loud for those who know how to listen. For holders of the Iraqi dinar, this moment, years in the making, may finally be arriving, and it's more important than ever to stay focused, informed, and grounded as the long-anticipated revaluation moves from behind-the-scenes execution to public reality. Understanding what comes next is critical. The RV is not an overnight miracle or a lottery ticket. It's a highly coordinated financial event involving Iraq's central bank, global currency exchange platforms, international policy regulators, and domestic banking institutions. It's designed to be precise and tightly managed to prevent chaos and market manipulation. While the exact moment the new rate goes public remains unknown, all current indicators, from insider reports and banking system upgrades to IMF and World Bank approvals, point to the final stages being underway. And when the switch flips, things will move fast. As a dinar holder, your first step is to stay connected to reliable sources of information. Disinformation and scams always spike during financial transitions, so ignore the noise and follow only well-vetted voices. Confirm that your dinar notes are legitimate, intact, and in good physical condition, as banks may reject damaged or counterfeit notes. Begin identifying your options for exchange. Which banks or licensed currency exchange centers are expected to handle dinar transactions post-RV? These details may change quickly, so be prepared to act within potentially short windows. Above all, beware of predatory schemes offering early exchanges, VIP access, or insider-only opportunities. Once the RV is announced publicly, the next phase begins, execution of a clear post-RV financial strategy. First, plan your currency exchange carefully. Work with banks that are officially approved and legally licensed to handle foreign currency conversions. This ensures your exchange is secure and recorded properly. Next, consult with a qualified financial advisor or tax expert familiar with international currency gains. The RV may carry significant tax implications depending on where you live. In some jurisdictions, gains could be taxed as capital gains, in others as ordinary income. Planning ahead can save you from unexpected tax burdens. Once the exchange is complete and taxes accounted for, focus on wealth preservation through diversification. This is not the time to go all in on any single investment or asset class. Real estate, business ventures, precious metals, and conservative long-term financial instruments should all be considered. The RV, while transformational, should be seen as the beginning of your financial journey, not the end goal. Most importantly, stay grounded. Sudden wealth has derailed many before you. Avoid impulsive decisions, maintain humility, and surround yourself with trusted advisors who will help keep you focused on your long-term vision. Remember, true wealth is not just about money, it's about security, legacy, and purpose. For years, dinar holders have waited in hope, often in silence, enduring doubt and skepticism from the outside world. But that belief in Iraq's potential, in its oil-rich economy, its strategic importance, and its people's resilience, has never wavered. Now every indicator suggests that belief is about to be rewarded. Whether the final step takes place in the next few hours or days, history is unfolding before us. Iraq is ready. The systems are in place. The approvals are signed. The world is watching. And you, the prepared and the patient, are standing at the threshold of financial history. Stay with Iraqi Dinar RV for continuous, accurate updates as this unprecedented moment becomes reality. Disclaimer. This article is intended for educational purposes only and does not constitute financial, legal, or tax advice. The foreign exchange market is inherently risky and prone to misinformation. Consult with qualified professionals before making any investment decision. Iraqi Dinar RV is not liable for any losses or damages resulting from the use or reliance on this content.